Meeting you here today was to be of whatever service I could to you.
Yeah, well, I do have a lot of questions.
I've always had a sense of purpose, but not one of I need to be in school to go ahead and do this, to get to this position. I didn't want to become a doctor. I didn't want to do any of that. You know, just wanted to live life. And, you know, we're all here at that place for a specific reason. And the events that led up to me getting to see you was, wow. It was like a straight communication with God itself, you know. I was just shopping for a bicycle. I don't even know what bicycle I was going to get. So now I go into these bicycle shops, and then Tony had mentioned about you and gave me your flyer, and I was like, let me go check this guy out. And it was about you, and to get in contact with you, and that I did. Yeah. And then on Sunday, you know, as soon as I walked into the place, you came right up. I didn't really know what your face looked like, and then you introduced yourself. I was like, oh my God. You know, another exciting moment. And then you had said what you said was that we're all there for specific reasons. You know, and it's really been cool. It's been an amazing journey up until this point, you know, trying to get everything together to manifest it all just before the girl that I'm doing it with, she's been playing this out for years. I've only been doing this for less than a month.
Right.
You know, I've only had that much time to get everything together for this trip, and it's all fallen into place.
That's the nature of a journey. I mean, to be called to do something means that you're not the actor, you're not the one, the force behind it. And so to be led to do something, you would expect all the doors to open, and you would expect for things to fall into place. Like when I went on my trip, I didn't finance the trip, I didn't get clothes or get bicycles, or, you know, I just went, just like you did. Who else has done this? Maybe I can get their help, maybe I can ask them how they did it. And days before I left on the trip, I had no money, no apparel, I didn't have the tent, I didn't have anything.
So how did you do it?
I just kept doing exactly what you were doing, going to different places. I had a very specific element, which was I knew why I was doing it.
Yeah.
And that's, you have to know why.
Yeah.
And that you find by asking the question.
Yeah.
And being challenged. One of the first people I came to said to me something very profound. Why a bike? Why this route? Why? And I didn't have those answers. I was actually going to him to ask for money. He was a local tycoon. And in answering those questions of why I was on the journey and what it meant to me and why it was important and why every aspect was important allowed me then to go forward. So I said, you're never going to have somebody come in here and say, I'm doing this for hospice. I have this unbelievable hospice story and I'm not going to accept any money at all. And that came out of my mouth and I was like, what? I was like, because I had never thought of that.
What did I just do?
What did I just say? But that became the hallmark of the whole trip. Yeah. How I was provided for was I decided I'm not going to provide for myself. I'm going to live every day of service to another human being.
Right.
And in doing that, I know I'll be provided for. And that's actually how the whole trip was financed every day, in and of the days.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, I mean, I made it the 6 months, but only because of that element. And it's only until you put yourself out there and put yourself into those positions and you have something where you go, you know what, at the core of this thing, you strip everything away. Strip hospice, strip personal experience, strip bicycles, strip everything down. What is the core value of this mission? And it's service. At the core of a human being, the only true expression of gratitude is to lay whatever you have, your time, your money, and you're already doing it.
Yeah.
Do it with intention. You know?
Well, that's what I have been doing, yeah.
So, and that's it. And that became my core value of that trip.
It's very wild, you know, to hear something like this, because I'm throwing away, not throwing away, I'm giving away everything. I mean, some things have value to it, which I'm trying to raise money for this expedition. I still have to buy the bike. That's why when I heard that your bike was up for auction, I was like, I want to do it today. I'm going in the middle of winter. You know,
I did too, yeah.
You did it too, in the middle of winter. How did you stay warm? Because I'm thinking about getting like emergency bivvies and all of that good stuff.
As far as, how tall are you?
5'10".
Yeah, about my size. Yeah. I'll be able to hook you up with most of the apparel that you're going to need.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, you're going to need that.
I know, I don't know what I'm going to need exactly.
So I have everything you're going to need.
But you were really warm and everything?
Oh yeah, I was hot.
You were hot.
yeah, once your body gets to a certain percent body fat and it's used to working like that, and you're used
How much
to
weight did you lose?
I didn't. It just went different places.
Because I know I've been biking from Bradenton all the way to Sarasota every night. My car broke down.
Yeah.
And about 2
Luckily,
months ago.
my car broke down too, right as I started my journey. A
That's
couple
so
months
weird.
before. Yeah.
The whole beginning of this whole journey.
Yeah.
Man. I got a job out in Bradenton because I couldn't afford working my business anymore. It just wasn't paying my bills or anything, and I was at this dead end, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And through a friend, I was able to get the job where I'm at now. It's Pier 22 out in Bradenton.
Cool.
So that's like 27 miles away from where I live. I live in South Sarasota.
That's perfect.
And
Biking
so,
wise.
yeah, and I've been biking for the past 2.5 months back and forth. Some days I bike both ways,
Yeah.
so that's like 57 miles.
That's perfect.
I didn't have that luxury of being able to get around, but instead I do have the luxury of the bicycle, which my first one broke, and my brother lent me hand.
Yeah.
You know?
Same thing. I had to use a borrowed bike for the trip too.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty much normally. I mean, anytime you set an intention to do something, you're going to be provided with all the things you need in order to accomplish it. You needed time on the bike. It makes perfect sense. That's a normal part of any journey. If that wasn't happening, I'd be concerned.
Well, the girl that I'm doing it with, she's not here. I think she's out camping right now, but she's been planning this for a whole year, and she's got a lot of the stuff that she needs. At the same time, all of her friends that she was going to be doing it with backed out. That night that they all backed out, that she found out that the last person wasn't going to go with her, she thought she was going to go on her own. I find out through my friend Steve, who's videotaping right now, that about this girl, and I didn't remember what her name was or anything, and then I get home and I go online, Facebook, it's like usually the first thing that I do as soon as I get home, and one of my friends had posted something that she had posted about, and I saw her video, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And then I saw that he was friends with her, I was like, this must be the girl, so then I friended her. And I wrote to her, I was like, I really want to do something like this. And then she wrote back to me somewhere along the lines, well, a lot of people talk about it, but they don't know how to be about it. So I was like, wow, that was tough. That was tough. The next day I woke up, it was all in my mind. I went to sleep on it. I woke up, it was all in my mind. Second day was in my mind. Third day, even more in my mind. And then before I knew it, I made a decision. I just know I need to move forward. I don't know exactly how or why I'm doing what I'm doing. I know it's a spiritual journey for me. And when I get to the end, what's going to be after the end? I don't know, but it'll unfold as I keep on going.
And it will unfold. I would definitely say you have to, it's never the easiest thing to challenge yourself. You got to say, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What is your core value? What is your mission? You got to have that, because there always comes a time when why you're doing it becomes why you're doing it, and you gotta know that as intrinsically as you know yourself.
Along the way, like, what did you eat? I don't want to eat something heavy and then be like hurting along the way.
I'm
also gonna be trailing.
You'll eventually find, like, I'm a vegetarian, but I wasn't when I first started.
Right.
You'll find that if you're burning enough calories, I mean, you could eat pizza every day. I did that for weeks. Pizza every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. You can eat fast food. You can eat anything you want. And the best part, the United States, there's always food.
Yeah. Abundant food.
Abundant food. Yeah. That's the thing about the United States. As long as you're in the States, you'll be fed. And a lot of times people just feed you. They'll see what you're doing, they'll bring you into their homes, they'll feed you, they'll give you food. You'll walk into a restaurant and sit down and you'll eat, and then they'll just say no check and those sorts of things. But those are where somebody could say, hey, what are you doing? And if you say, I'm spreading light or this or that, they're like, oh, okay, here's your check. You say, I'm riding from Florida to Alaska, I'm doing it to raise money for non-for-profit hospice. They go, oh, my grandmother was in hospice, or right now I'm working on a grieving children's initiative for kids that have lost their parents.
Wow.
And it's a 3-tiered approach. It creates a national social media site, so that kids going through the exact same thing can talk to somebody else in real time and help somebody else going through it. So if a 12-year-old that just lost his mother, no one understands what that kid's going through except another 12-year-old who just lost their mother.
So it's like a student becomes a teacher, the teacher is also the student.
And that's the only way people learn and grow.
Yeah.
Speaking something into existence is a natural part of a journey.
Right.
The call happens, the call becomes a dream. The dream is exciting, but the dream becomes a plan. And that plan It's not where you say this day, then this day, then this day. You say, I have a core value, and every one of my decisions is based on that core value. Everything, is this of service to another person? Is this not of service? Am I raising money and awareness for hospice? Am I not? And that comes with the discipline of sitting down, praying, meditating, and writing it. And having somebody that holds you accountable. And again, it really comes down to, you have to make the impact, you personally, John Caruso, has an exact calling, you have a highest good.
I'm just following that feeling, man. Yeah.
But part of that is honoring. You gotta dig deep, and you gotta identify, I do one thing better than anything else that I do.
Yep.
I have one calling that's more immediate, more pressing than any calling else I have. I have one life experience, and that life experience uniquely enables me more than any other person to do blank. You find that blank and then go do it. And you just have to be writing, praying, meditating, please let me reveal it so that I can do my thing, whatever it is. Out of nowhere, I'm on this trip, I think it's about hospice or about writing, I have a million different things going on in my mind. And it was shown a million times. JW, you do one thing better than anybody else. You're made to communicate. It's an inspirational message, and you have a way to share it. You have to demand from yourself the discipline, and you got to write it and design it. Actually, physically write and design it.
Exactly.
You got to do that. You can't leave without that design.
Yeah.
You can't leave without those words, whatever they are.
Right.
Because there'll come a time where unbridled passion just shoots out in a million different directions. But it's like when you take the magnifying glass and you direct that light, it becomes a powerful, much more powerful and focused tool that now it can explode the whole world on fire.
The sun in a magnifying glass.
Exactly. Right now you're the sun. The magnifying glass is the focus. And that will change somebody's life. That's transformative.